For so many people that come from other countries in particular, they've left their families behind. They're so lost. And, again, without language, it's so hard.
It was hard. It was hard because as soon as I went out of the airplane, I started crying. Because I came to a new country. I left my country. And I was crying just because the way I left my country. I left my country just for security reasons.
You feel like you have kind of a disability, and sometimes people think you are stupid.
It was scary. It was like somebody took your hands and a voice away. Like you couldn't communicate. You couldn't go even and ask somebody for help or anything like this. You couldn't communicate with no one. It was really scary.
In my language, I have a culture. I read a lot. I have 2 degrees, but if I don't speak English, I have nothing.
I make pre-flight, post-flight, through flight, everything for my aircraft. I was responsible for the pilot to fly. I have to sign. This was my profession, but I have to forget this. So when I come here, I start cleaning here. And I go to the mall. I was washing cars for 1 year.
Many of them came from environments where they were very, very successful, and coming to this country because they did not know the language, had to take a lot of menial jobs until they understood the language, and now they're sort of clawing their way or climbing their way back up the ladder. And that's what those corporate citizens have to realize, that these students can one day be employees of those corporations and contribute to the bottom line of those corporations. And literacy volunteers can help them do that by educating them on this country, on English, and on how to read.
Every day, hard-working women and men walk through the doors of literacy volunteers of Stamford and Greenwich with one goal in mind: to learn to read, write, and speak in English. And literacy volunteers provides them with an education. Trained volunteers provide reading, writing, and English language instruction to native and foreign-born adults. Educational programs support the efforts of area residents to gain the skills necessary to achieve economic and personal self-sufficiency, and to increase their potential of making greater contributions to the communities in which they live. It enables them to participate more fully in their children's education and to achieve their occupational goals. Literacy Volunteers brings its programs into the Stamford and Greenwich communities, with classes held on work sites, into senior housing developments, English language classes for parents of children in Head Start programs, and Reach Out and Read programs in pediatric health clinics and hospitals. Trained volunteers read to children in clinic waiting rooms, and trained healthcare providers talk to parents about the importance of reading to their children at an early age.
And what's nice is that most families don't realize the value of starting a child off so early with education. And once we start them off on a book or mention even a one-liner that, this book, try this book, see if you like it, sometimes this is the start of the kid getting his own library.
Outreach programs extend to libraries, churches, and many more locations. Literacy Volunteers of Stamford Greenwich, providing literacy as legacy.
It's truly giving people the opportunity to do something that they may have never had a chance to do in their lives or want to try again, and that's getting an education. And there's nothing more special or more powerful than coming back to school as an adult of your own free choice to get an education. And that's what we do.
We're a local agency in Stamford and Greenwich, and we're dealing with the illiteracy in these 2 towns. And Stamford is 22%, and Greenwich is around 14%, which is very difficult for some people to recognize because we're all well and nice and nobody's illiterate here, but we have that problem, and a lot of the people who are illiterate they're shut off from the rest of the crowd, and what we try to do is teach them how to speak English, whatever language, whatever background they're from, and that opens up their life and their opportunities.
Our program is our volunteers, and without them, the service doesn't exist.
We have probably about 100 or so, give or take, volunteers. And just the groups, we have like 80 tutorial groups. So that's 80 volunteers doing this work and serving like whatever, 400, 500 students. Obviously, we have a really wonderful community, Stamford and Greenwich, because these people come here, they want to do this for free. So that's really incredible.
I think that's what makes the difference, the tutors. I have had the greatest teachers ever here.
The literacy volunteer opens a door to your future life. It's the little things, but it counts. It counts a lot because you need it. You need it, and there are people who are actually helping you to achieve those little things so you can get to the bigger goals.
After I finished my course with the literacy volunteers, I knew enough English to go to school later on and study for my profession right now, dental assistant. It's very important because it's like professional terms, but I understand more.
They're definitely realizing dreams. Just by coming to the United States, they've made a huge step towards their lasting goals. And I just hope that we can really help lead them on the way, not just with language, but with friendship and advocacy.
Oh, I go home and I tell my wife, I just cannot wait to share the things, the pleasure that I have had from these students. We share each other's lives.
We're turning tax users into taxpayers. We're turning parents into people who could be partners in their children's education so that perhaps their children will go to college and work in your company.
There are more and more people coming from other countries that are coming to our country to work and who really want to work and who really want to better their lives, and they want to add value to the community, to the organization. And I think for a company to support literacy volunteers and literacy programs will have an immediate impact on the bottom line because it will make the workers more productive, more engaged with the workplace.
The need is eminent. The need is there. The results are there. The stories are there. And you can see the difference in people's lives.
Person by person, I know that they are affecting profound community and social change. And what a return on investment.
I feel like I said before, blessed by God, and all those things have been possible throughout learning English. Without English, all those things was impossible to reach.
And thank you so much for letting me be here and learn English and be able to go in there and teach my friends and help everyone. And I'm so happy that there is a place when we can all get together and become like one big family.
They are my treasure.
If it wasn't for the organization, where would we all go? What could we do? Be like me back in the 60s and 70s and the 80s, wasting my time because I was struggling to work, but there's a lot of work. You have to learn how to read.
Martha said, forget about it. She was going to tell her.
My biggest goal was to know how to read so I could read to my grandchildren.
So that's the end.
And because of the volunteers and this organization that showed me I could do it, that's opening the doors to heaven,
From children to seniors and everyone in between, literacy volunteers of Stamford and Greenwich, empowering literacy as legacy.